Piper Ranch Vipers to the Piper Ranch Library. My name's Mrs. Powell. I'm actually going to take this mask off because right now there's nobody around. So this is a little time I have to record this without anybody around, and I can talk to you guys without this mask. But normally I'm masking up just like you guys. So I want to take you to the library because I want to explain how things are going to work in here. I know a lot of you are excited to get some books in your hands, and believe me, I'm ready to get these books out of here. They've missed you. They're ready to go home with you. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour and explain how the library is going to work and how you can put books on hold in Destiny. And when you come with your English teachers, you will be able to check out books, but it's just going to work a little different. We can't go browsing around the library like we used to, but don't worry, you guys will get to check out books. So I want you to follow me into the library. First of all, I want to show you our hand sanitizing station. So we're going to come in always from the same entrance, and you'll see markings, and basically they say entrance. That's pretty much a no-brainer right there. So what you do is you just come in here and you're going to get hand sanitizer and then walk in with your class. And when you walk in with your class, we're going to tell you where in the library to go sit. So it's not going to be like it used to before where you could sit in a big table with people. We're going to spread out a little bit more. But it's still going to be fun. We're going to do some fun things. So I can't wait to take you into my favorite place in the world, the Piper Ranch Library. So follow me. So as you come into the library, you can see, be careful when you come in. Always make sure you're coming in walking. Immediately to your left, you're going to see our library return bin. So things, books have to sit in isolation for 72 hours once they come back. So all you got to do when you come in is drop your books right there. Neither myself nor my library aides will touch the books for 72 hours, and then we'll reshelve them. So don't worry if you check your Destiny account and you still see that book on your account, because it will come off in about 3 days. So this is, well, in my opinion, the best place on campus. This is the Piper Ranch Library, especially for my 6th graders who've never had a chance to really walk around and be in here. Immediately when you walk into the library, I'm going to set up, and this is going to be probably more when we start letting kids come in with passes, but there'll be a scanning station here that you can scan your ID so that I'll know which kids are in the library at which time. Just a couple of other fun things. We have a 3D printer here. Eventually we'll get to pull that out and use that. This is where I primarily do all of my teaching. So if I have a class come in and I'm going to do a lesson, I'll usually do I like to pick that side of the library just because, I don't know, it's light and bright and pretty, and I have space to kind of spread people out there. So that's going to be more or less where I do most of my teaching. So sadly, we can't come and browse for books like we used to, but that doesn't mean we still can't look at them. So if you walk and you see, for example, anytime I have a brand new books that have just come in, I'm going to put them in our fresh fiction section. So if you walk over here and you say, Miss Powell, I just know I want to check that book out right there, then I can always pick it up and I can have you go check it out at our at our touchless scanning station. And I'll explain that in just a little. So as you can see, we're marked for 6 feet apart. So when it's time for us to check books out, we have some markings on the floor so that we make sure we don't crowd up in front of our friends, and we line up so that we can check out our books. We have lots of computers to use. So when you come in with your ELA class, we'll make sure probably to put some space in between the computers. Most of these computers will be equipped to print as well. You can see I have lots and lots of hand sanitizing stations. They're all over the place. So it's really just a matter of looking up and looking around, and you're probably going to find a place that has some kind of hand sanitizer. What we do when we're ready to check a book out. So let's just say that you are here and you have decided that this is the book that you want. Together at midnight, Ms. Powell touches it, one of the aides touches it, hands it to you, and so you're going to remember your social distancing guidelines. So if there's somebody ahead of you, wait. But when it's your turn, you're just going to walk up to the self-checkout station. This is where you will need to scan your ID badge into our touchless scanner, and the touchless scanner is right here. All right. So the first thing I have to make sure is when I come over here that I look at the screen, and it's going to be pointing out to me, and I want to make sure that it says check out. And I want to make sure that that cursor is blinking right there where it says find. If it doesn't say this, or if you see someone else's account pulled up, let one of our library aides know and they will click the reset. But basically you are not touching the keyboard, you're not really touching anything. All you've got to do is just make sure the screen looks like this. So if that looks good, you're going to take your ID and you are going to scan it. So I'm going to take the ID and I'm going to simply scan it.
Oops.
If you hear that whoops sound, that means there's some little problem with your account, and we will take a look.
And your account is going to come up on the screen. So now you're ready to take your book, and then you're going to take it and make sure that you locate the barcode that says Piper Ranch, and you're going to just hold it underneath the scanner.
Oops.
And it is going to, if it beeps at you like that, that means that you're not scanning the Piper Ranch code. So you need to make sure you do that. There. And when you hear that click, it will show that that book has been checked out to you. If for whatever reason you decide you change your mind, then just talk to one of the aides and they will reset the account. And then once you have the book and you can see other books that you may have checked out, you are free to go back to your desk and start reading. So just a little bit about the library, so you know, and one day we will be able to browse for books and touch books and do all that kinds of stuff. On this wall right here, you see our Lone Star wall. So the Lone Star is going to be the collection of books, you know, like in Blue Bonnet, how the Blue Bonnet had award-winning books. In middle school, we deal with the Lone Star books, and this is going to be where I put out this year's Lone Star books. So there's a couple of our Lone Star books that haven't been checked out. So anytime you want to find this year's Lone Star books, you just come to this wall right here and you can find those. All of our nonfiction, that means Dewey Decimal from 000 all the way to 999. That's going to cover everything that's nonfiction, meaning real stuff like how to cook, science, technology, art, music, sports, poetry. All that kind of stuff right there is going to be found against this wall, close to the area where you walked in. Okay? So if you're looking for a book about cooking, or you want to learn how to do origami, or you want to learn how to sew, or maybe you want to learn a little bit about a certain basketball team like the Spurs, or you want to learn how to draw, you want to learn about the Beatles or other kinds of, you can just browse these books. And I know it's weird this year. Right now we actually won't be able to go and pick up books to hold, but you can always look, and then you can, if you see something you just know you found in the catalog and you know you want, then one of the library staff will pull it for you. Over on this side of the library, we have our fiction section. And honestly, the fiction section is probably our most popular section. This is going to be where you find your Harry Potter books, your J.K. Rowling, your romance novels, your scary books. And I will sometimes pull some books out and put them on special displays. But this is where you will find all that. And it is all organized by the last name of the author. As I've come over to the other side of these shelves, and as you can see here, we're starting with the letter A. So that's going to be any author starts with the letter A. And then as it goes around, you'll start to see where it changes to the B. So there's our B authors. And if you loop around, try not to make you guys dizzy, loop around to this side, we carry on with the B's. What you're looking for are those divider marks that will tell you when we switch to a different letter. So as you can see here, the B section goes pretty far. As a matter of fact, it goes all the way to this next shelf. And now we start with our C's. So if you look at the spine, and the spine, when I'm talking about the spine, I'm talking about this part of the book right here. This is the spine. If you look at, sorry that's so blurry. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, it's a little bit better. So if you look at this particular author right here, you can see that this author, and if I pull this book out, this is written by an author named Calanita, right? Jen Calanita. So that is why this book is located in this section, because you have the C-A-L, but it just keeps on getting bigger. Now we're in the N's, the M's. So this is how we organize our fiction here at Piper Ranch, okay? So when you're wanting to look for books and you see the spine label and you see the call number says FCAL, that's how you find it. So every book has an address, kind of like we all have addresses that we live in. Books have an address too. So if you need to know, I need to find all of the books written by Cooper, Charlie Cooper, I would know to come to the C section here, and then I would just look until I find the COO. So that is our fiction section, and it is definitely one of our popular ones. I also have the Lone Star books pulled from several other years. So there is the Lone Star books from 2019. So be sure to check those out. This is by far one of the most popular sections of the library, and this is our graphic novels section. So kids really love to read graphic novels. This is particularly our manga section, which is a very unique type of Japanese comics. And they're actually read backwards. So when you pick up a manga book, you actually read it backwards. It's kind of cool. Let me pull one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here is this series. So normally we would read this way, right? But with a manga, you actually turn it around and you read right to left, because that's how people in Japan actually read words. So this is a very, very popular type of book with our kids. Keep in mind that some of these particular types of books, especially manga, can kind of tend to be a little bit on the more mature side. So certainly you check with your parents, and if you're a 6th grader, I'll have a form that I'll need you to have mom and dad fill out just to make sure it's okay for you to check out some of our manga. Only because manga can have some elements of violence. If you ever watch My Hero Academia or some of those, you can see that some of those anime shows depict a little bit of action and violence. So we want to make sure that our 6th graders and our younger readers are okay with it. But I certainly don't want to tell you what you can and cannot read. That's between you and your parents. But I will need to have a permission slip, and if they say it's okay, then I'm happy to check any of these books out to you. This is our manga graphic novel section. We also have some more manga on the back, but we also have other comic books, like some neat, like Garfield, Snoopy, Big Nate is a popular one. And I'm always happy to make some recommendations when it comes to that. We have a whole Peanuts gallery section. We also have these thinner books that are just, usually all of the Marvel series are in here, and sometimes kids just want a quick look to read. We have all of this to check out. We have some more. So we have more graphic novels, and graphic novels, just like our fiction, are organized by first 3 letters of the author's last name. Finally, we have our biography section. So this is where you're going to find books about important people that have made some changes, some great inventions, some discoveries. This is where you're going to find that. Of particular interest to our kids is the Who Was series. So we have all of the Who Was for different people that were important. So this is our biography section. Finally, on this side of the library, we are going to have our poetry tree. So we call it our poetry. Get it? I know, that's pretty corny, but poetry. And usually I will have some poetry books pulled out, especially in April. Right now I just have some magazines, but that's going to change as the year goes on. I've got to introduce you to our bouncy chairs. You will find out about these, but these chairs are so much fun, especially if you're a 6th grader and have never seen these. I call them my Tigger chairs because you literally sit down and they bounce. So it's really good for when, some people really need to have that motion when they're reading. So, but these will only be taken out when nobody's teaching, but if it's silent reading and your teacher is okay with it, you can partake in our fun bouncy chairs, our Tigger chairs. We've also got more computers on this side, and we have a whole other space to do lessons and fun stuff. This is one of my favorite posters. Even the Avengers like to read, right? So that is basically the library. We have another section right here where kids can check books out, but normally we're going to just use that one that I showed you. This will be kind of as a backup in case we need it. But for the most part, the other one I showed you is where you check books out. Students are not allowed past this line right here. So only student aides, teachers, staff, and of course the librarian can come back on this side. So you want to make sure you stay on this side of the circulation desk to take care of any library business you need to do. One of my favorite spots in the library is my Harry Potter collection. So this is just a couple of things that either gifts that kids have given me, people have given me, fun things dealing with Harry Potter will be found here. But then of course I also have my Harry Potter section with my Nimbus 2000 broomstick, and of course a letter that was written by Professor McGonagall herself to Piper Ranch. So I'm so proud and so honored to have received that from her. And this is our Piper Ranch Harry Potter section.
We even have a library pet. His name is Norbert. You'll get to meet him soon. He is a Texas spiny lizard. I can't wait to talk to you all about Sora. So Sora is an app by Overdrive. It is basically all of Comal ISD Secondary School's collection of ebooks and digital books. So we are adding to that constantly. I think at last count we have about probably over 2,500 titles ready for you to check out directly from your iPhone or your Android device. And you can also hook up library cards from San Antonio Public Library and the Bulverde Spring Branch Public Library. So we'll talk more about Sora, and I will let you know how to access that. As you guys come to the library more, you'll start to get to know some of our fabulous library aides. And these are all 8th graders who have chosen this as an elective to just learn how to be good service people and to learn how to take care of library patrons, answer the phone, shelve books. So make sure you give them a warm smile because they are ready to help you out. Occasionally I get to leave the library and get out of my favorite spot, and I get to go and meet authors. I get to go to library conferences and meet some of my favorite and some of your favorite authors. And if I'm really lucky, I get some of those books autographed and I bring them back to the library. It's a lot of fun, and author visits are something I definitely would like to factor into Piper Ranch in the future.
I hope that you will have fun in the library. My biggest goal is to make you guys appreciate reading, no matter what that is, whether it be comic books, whether it be biographies, poetry, magazines. Just read. Just make sure you pick up books and read periodically. And I'm always here to help you with technology, so just make sure to come and visit me.